Today on the Tiger Lacrosse Report, we'll review the Tigers' NCAA Tournament game against Penn State. Get ready, fans. The Tiger Lacrosse Report starts now. Hello and welcome to the Tiger Lacrosse Report. This past weekend, the Tigers took on one of their former CAA foes, Penn State, in the round of 16 of the NCAA Tournament. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Trying to get free, turn, shoots and scores, and we're tied at 1. So Ryan Drenner with goal number 26 on the year. Flip to Sider. Joe Wine shoots and scores. Joe Sider with his 25th goal of the season. And the Tigers down 3-2. Feeds it back up top, work it over to Young. Young comes down, he'll shoot and score. We're tied at 3. Tyler Young with his 12th goal of the year. Feed over to the left, wide shot and a score by Ament. So just like that, Penn State retakes the lead. Drenner coming up the left. Drenner feeds to Sider. Joe turns, shoots, scores! 7-5, Joe Sider. Work it up top. Lynch fires and scores! And the Tigers take an 8-7 lead. Mike Lynch with his first of the day and his 18th of the season. Ryan comes up, feet up top to Lynch. Lynch fires again and scores! Back-to-back goals by Mike Lynch and the Tigers with a 9-7 lead with 7:59 remaining. Yule comes down, Yule flips it, Sider comes down, shoots, scores! 11-7 with 2 minutes to go! Joe Sider with the hat trick!
The Tigers beat the Nittany Lions by a final of 12-8. Joe Sider, 4 goals, 2 assists for Towson. And as always, we're joined by the head coach of the Tigers, Shawn Nadelen. Coach, congratulations, second straight year getting to the round of 8 in the NCAA Tournament. You knew going into the game that Penn State had a tremendous offense, one of the best in the country. You guys dominated time of possession in that first quarter, but at the end of it, it was still a tie of 1-1. Was that a little frustrating for you?
It was frustrating, and thanks, by the way, with the advancing. Yeah, it was. We were aggressive, which we wanted to be, but our shots were nowhere near the mark, and it was a little worrisome. Not to lie, it was a little worrisome. Which way, if we were going to settle down and start putting our shots on cage, or if we're going to continue to see good opportunities, go away from us. So again, it was a credit to our guys staying the course throughout the course of the game. But after that first quarter, there was definitely a little worry.
Was also maybe in the back of your mind were you thinking that even though we're not scoring, it's a possibility we're going to be wearing this defense down because we're putting so much pressure on them?
Yeah, that's one of the things that we always try to focus on is being able to grind out possessions. On the offensive end, defensive end, we feel like we're in great shape. We got the mentality for it. We want to be able to continue to grind out possessions, and by doing that, we're going to see how the other team responds to that. Can they sustain going against an offense that's dodging and getting shots off for 2.5, 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes at a time? You're just finding that little piece to bend enough or even break, and then you gotta finish it off. So again, that's the way we started. Again, it wasn't the way we wanted to as far as putting points on the board, but the aggressiveness, the way we were able to maintain possession, even though not coming away with goals, it still had an impact, I feel like, on their defense.
All right, you go into halftime, you're down 4-3. What do you tell your team?
Kind of like what we just talked about. We need to play better Towson lacrosse. The first half was far from what we're used to doing and playing and performing. So we needed to sharpen up defensively. We need to be a little bit better there with our off-ball play, our on-ball pick play, and on-ball disciplined defense. And then offensively, we need to continue to stay the course, but put the ball in better spots and continue to be aggressive. Continue to work for that best shot, not just, you know, a 13 or 14-yard step down, you know, as you got a guy coming to your face, you know, maybe hitch and get by him, or move it on for that one more to the guy that can take the shot from 8, or that guy moves it on to the guy that can take a shot from 3 yards, you know, things like that. And felt like we did a little bit better job of that in the second half. That, you know, the second half was definitely, you know, better production-wise for us.
To Penn State's credit, their goalkeeper, Knies, the freshman, was having an outstanding game. I mean, he ended up with 16 saves in the ball game. So, yes, maybe some of your shots weren't great, but he was making some great plays also.
Yeah,
the other team does try.
They do try, and they did a good job. You know, of it, they threw some zone at us, which we expected as well, which kind of makes you do some different things offensively, and a little bit more methodical possessions. And he did a good job. He soaked up the shots, you know, especially on the inside a couple times where we didn't put him in good spots. He stole a couple, which he's very capable of. We've seen him be, you know, pretty strong. We've also seen him be, you know, pretty poor in the net. I think he had a pretty strong day in there.
Then, on the other hand, your goalkeeper, Matt Hoy, in key situations coming down the stretch, came up with some tremendous saves in that ball game.
Absolutely. You know, their attack is probably, you know, 3 of the best guys that we've seen as a unit all year, if not the best. And those guys challenged our defense, you know, completely. And they were the ones that scored all the goals, and they deserved that and earned it. You know, kind of had us on our heels a little bit there, especially in the fourth quarter. You know, Ponte comes around one time, you know, with a layup, and Matt's there to close the door on him. And those, you know, he had 2 saves in that fourth quarter, which just were huge for us to continue to have the momentum, continue to keep them off the board and earn that victory.
You finally got the lead. They came back, tied it back up, but then you guys pulled away late in the fourth quarter, and say with 3 minutes to go, you pretty much knew that the outcome was in hand. You had to look back and say, you know, we just took a great offense and held them to 8 goals. That's something you've got to be proud of.
I am. I thought we didn't play as best as we could have on the defensive end. So being able to understand that, but also know that you held a team to 8 goals is nice. Matt had a big part in that. I felt like he stole some, you know, from those guys, and you know, pumping in 12 goals offensively always helps. You know, facing off, does a decent job there. But our defense did, you know, an okay job. I don't think quite to the level that we expect them to play and perform. So again, it's something to learn from and move on. You know, and in that fourth quarter, you know, you're up however many with 3 minutes left. You never feel comfortable. You know, especially with the faceoffs. Faceoffs were kind of 50-50 going both ways. Woodall had gotten hurt. You know, Connor was in there, and Connor did a good job coming in relief. So it was, again, you know, until that final buzzer sounds and, you know, you're able to say you got one more than the other guy, you know, that's when you can understand that you won the game.
Let's talk about Connor Harriman for a second. You know, I mean, Alex Woodall's taken the majority of the face-offs all year long. Connor stepped in at certain times, but Alex goes down, and then he comes in. He wins 6 out of 11, and going against Arcieri, who's one of the best in the country, that's pretty good.
It was, and it's a credit to Connor. It's a credit to our whole face-off unit. You know, the wing guys that were involved, but also the guys that practice every day. As we got 5 face-off guys that we could use. It's a credit to those guys continuing to stay fresh, engaged, understanding the game plan and how we need to attack it. And Connor is an extremely competitive kid. He's just always been chomping at the bit for an opportunity. Alex has taken, obviously, the majority of face-offs, but Connor stepped in when we needed to, and he performed at the level that we expected him to and the way, you know, he wants to, which was huge. And you know, when they started to try to go fast break, he adjusted. You know, they got a couple penalties, you know, from it, and you know that kind of sealed the game right there.
All right, Coach. Congratulations again on getting to that final 8.
Thank you.
Join us next time when the Tigers, when Coach Nadelen and I will talk about the Tigers round of 8 matchup, the quarterfinals against Syracuse, as Towson for the 2nd straight year making it to the quarterfinals of the NCAA Tournament. So that'll do it for us. For head coach Shawn Nadelen, I'm Spiro Morekas. Thanks for joining us on the Tiger Lacrosse Report, and as always, go Tigers.